we say that we're the choice of the live show.
We're live, like 2 seconds before we got live. Sabrina's like, wait, no.
Before this, we were discussing, we are pros at this thing. But at the end of the day, guys, no matter how much you do it, you'll still be a dweeb like us. Or like me.
What did you need,
though? What?
Why did you wait?
I was going to put like their channel names in the toolbox thingy, but I don't care. We're just two people. Don't worry.
In the toolbox. Yeah, what is that? And why is it on my thing? Okay, that was not cool. I had the live show like link for it in the other thing, and I guess it plays a commercial before.
Yeah.
Oops, my bad. So anyway. All right, guys. So we are here to talk about the Selection series by Kira Cass. We're going to talk about the entire series. I don't own the entire series. I'm letting my friend borrow the Selection, and then I haven't bought the air yet. But we're going to talk about the whole series tonight. Because Sabrina, and her link will be in the description, so definitely go and subscribe to her if you haven't already. But
I'm hot.
At
least my mom says so.
I think it was Twitter, right, that I posted, like, I had finished The Crown, and you tweeted or you messaged me, and you were like, girl, we need to talk about it, because... And so I was like, we should just do a live show for the whole thing. So, yay, because I needed to talk about it too, but I wanted to share all of my thoughts with you guys.
Because our thoughts are that important. So we need everybody to know about what we think about these books. And I don't know why I'm talking in this accent. Hi.
Duh, like we're on BookTube, so obviously our thoughts are important.
Really, I mean, the internet, and I don't know. Can I just introduce myself quickly, my lady, please? Yeah. So my name is Sabrina, and I'm wearing this really cute crown in order of this occasion. From the channel Sabrina the Teenage Reader, which is obviously a reference to a great TV series of the 90s. Have you watched it?
The what Witch. Series?
Yeah, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Yeah. But yeah, so I was invited by my dear friend to appear in her channel, and I'm deeply honored to. So that's why I wore this crown. It's a really expensive crown, as you can see. These are Swarovski's crystals. Look at this bling. And I'm sorry, this is made custom for me from a really, really expensive boutique. It's really exclusive. I don't know if you heard about it. It's called Claire's. Have you heard about it? And it only cost me $1 singular. The one at the mall? Oh, which mall?
Don't they have them at like every mall? Like
yeah, true. Even Honduras has Claire's. Yeah.
Seriously?
I'm from.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And
that's insane. Oh, and yeah, and then the other thing is that we have a chat section. Is it over this way or over this way? I don't know. I think it's this way. But there's a chat section. So if you guys have any questions about the Selection series or thoughts, love to hear them. Put them in the chat section. You can also tweet me on Twitter. I'll be checking it throughout the live show. So I think the way that we're going to do it is we're going to talk about each book. So we'll start off in order with the first one.
Yes.
Yay. Okay, well, let me ask you first. What did you rate this series as a whole?
I mean, it's really hard to rate the Selection series because I wouldn't rate them, and I don't rate them the same way I read other books. Because for me, the Selection series, it's like the series that I read whenever I'm in a reading slump. Because these are books that are like, I don't know, they're so different because I don't take them seriously. They're fun, and they're quirky, and they're like really like entertaining, and they really like hook you up, but it's not like the best series in the world. So I would give it like 3.75.
Yeah. See, for me, they're like the ultimate, I mean, behind the obvious, like Harry Potter and everything like that, they're like the ultimate feel-good book. I just like, my heart is so warm with the feels when I read the selection series. And so, like, yeah, you have to, if you want to be really critical about the selection series, you really have to take some points off for, you know, being, like, the writing is really not the best, and the characters can be annoying sometimes, but it just makes me feel so good, and it has such readability that I have to give it, like, a 4.5 out of 5 stars, because it's just amazing. Well, and the characters, they're not even that annoying. Like, America was slightly annoying in the beginning, and Ian was slightly annoying in the beginning, but...
Yeah, but the thing that I think I like to defend America Singer, because even though she's not my favorite, I think that people just are too harsh on her, because she's like one of the few characters in YA that are not like extremely perfect and they know exactly what to do all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can
like a lot of times in YA, especially dystopians, like, oh, the character like knows like what to do, and out of nowhere becomes this badass female character who destroys the government. You know, it's like America Singer's just a girl, and that has no preparation. She's a human being. Yeah, she's complicated, but she's a teenager. All teenagers are complicated. You know, even.
And I mean, to go into directly go into the first book, you know, to be put in a situation where you literally have to be ripped apart from the person that you feel like you're going to be with for the rest of your life. I mean, it's got to be like super stressful, and you know, she's really on the outside because she's the only person there who's not extremely excited to be picked for the selection.
Yeah, I totally understand, because before the selection, she had this whole life prepared for herself that, oh, she was going to marry Aspen and they were going to work hard and stuff. But she never expected all these exaggerated and really big circumstances to happen, and they're extreme circumstances. So I don't blame her for acting the way that she did under extreme circumstances, because I don't know what I would do, honestly.
Yeah. There were moments when she was like really angry at Maxon, especially like in the very, very beginning, where I was just like, it's not his fault, and I felt really bad for him. But then again, I really felt bad for I told you this, that I'm super bad at names, for her boyfriend. What was his name?
Aspen.
Yes, Aspen. Yeah, she said that. Duh. I'm the worst at names, like absolute worst.
Don't worry. I like to forget Aspen's thing because I'm not a big fan of him. So.
Oh, okay. I completely and totally shipped Aspen and America from the very beginning. I did.
Goodbye.
But no, okay. See, you know, by the 3rd book, I was on board with the ship.
Okay. That's what matters. That's what matters.
Like, now that the series is over, I'm just like, American and Maxon are made for each other. They're the perfect couple. They're just amazing. But in the beginning, I was just like, but that's her first love, and that is who she's going to be with, and I just felt so bad. And then America and Maxon had this friendship relationship where she was trying to help him decide who to pick, and I thought that was just a really good place for them. But looking back at it after, you know, 5 books later, it was a great way to start a relationship too.
Me too.
With a friendship.
I mean, I don't know why, but I like to predict stuff sometimes, and sometimes it kind of ruins the books for me, but I like to predict what is going to happen. And ever since I'm not going to fall in love with you, but we're going to be really close friends. And then it's like, and so I'm like, yeah, girl, she's going to develop feelings for him. Something's going to happen here.
Yeah, I mean, the selection series is like, if you call it nothing else, you have to call it predictable. Like, I knew that they were going to end up together. Even when I was shipping her and Aspen, I knew that they were going to end up together. It's just like why the series was written. I mean,
why do we have a book called The One with her on a white wedding dress?
Basically. Okay, so I don't know about you, but when I read I knew that the selection series, like the way that it was, you know, I had heard about it was The Bachelorette. It's basically The Bachelorette, which is why it took me so long to read it. Like I said, I just read it about a year ago this month, and it took me so long to read it because I was like, I hate The Bachelorette. I would hate this series. And I read the first 3 books in a matter of like 2 weeks. But when I finished the selection, and the selection wasn't over, like I thought by the end of the book, he would have chosen who he wanted to be with. And like, and so I don't know if I felt like, well, I did. I felt like the selection process in itself for America and Maxim was too drawn out. Did you feel like that?
I honestly don't know, because these books are really short.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think that, like, if you, like, put all the first 3 books together, you get a decent-sized book. Mm-hmm. Because, like, each book is, like, 200 and almost 300 pages each, and, like, it's, like, kind of a big font. But, yeah. I mean, I think it was okay for me because, like, like, how fast you read the books. Because, like, with the selection books, it's like, oh, I start one day and then, like... So I think if it was only a selection in one book, it would have felt a little bit rushed, especially with 35 girls in it.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I guess at the time when I was reading it, I was just like, maybe because it's just so readable and I just needed more, I was like, I just want to know who won the selection. So I really wanted, like, to find out in that first book just because I was being, like, a greedy reader. But that's actually a really funny term. It rhymes. Anyway.
Yeah. When I read the selection for the first time, it was actually during, like, the end of my junior year of high school, and I had this really big chemistry final, and I didn't want to like study for it, so I, like, downloaded the selection because I saw it was short and I want to give it a try, and it was, like, still Bachelor, and I'm like, ew, it's gonna be fake as hell. And no offense to people who actually like The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, and then I just started it, and then I'm like, oh, this is not bad. Okay, let's see what happens next. Next. She, of course, is going to be selected if, like, and then what happens next, and then I just finished the book, and I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't study for my final.
That's funny because I read The Crown the exact same way. Just like last week, I had oral surgery on my mouth, and the night before my oral surgery was at 7 a.m. and I had finished a book, and I just wanted to, like, read a couple chapters of The Crown. Oh, I'm just gonna read a couple because it was already 11 o'clock. I have to go to bed, and I ended up reading it in 3 hours, and it was like 1 a.m. and I was so tired for my oral surgery the next day. It was horrible. But it's exactly, I think it's one of the things that I love so much about this series is that it's extremely readable. It is the most readable series I've ever read that you just can't put it down. You need to have more.
I mean, you may not like the series, but you still have to read it and you still have to finish it and know what happens next just to be sure. Like those are my binge reading books. Like you
said, we know that America and Max are going to end up together, but you still want to read just to be sure. Like you said, like, oh my God, what if she kills off America?
That would be funny, but that wouldn't happen because it's like...
Were you scared after you read The Heir?
I mean, the thing is that it was a little bit scary, but I'm like, they're not going to kill her. It's just like to scare us. I mean, I just got into the mind of Kira Cass, and she's not gonna kill the character that we've been reading 3 books about and tolerating, you know? That would be, I don't know, I would write it.
And tolerating? I was terrified. Like, I was 80% sure that she was going to kill off America in The Heir. I was just, like, pretty convinced that that was what was going to happen. I posted on Twitter before I read the book. I said, I don't even care about Evelyn's selection. I just want to make sure that America's okay, because I didn't put it in those exact words because I didn't want to do any spoilers. I just said, I want to know what happens with America. And so if you hadn't read The Heir, you could have, interpreted that a different way. But that's all I cared about going into The Crown was, is America okay?
Oh yeah, it's like we're the American Singer Support Club. We need to ensure that she's alive and well, or else we're gonna go after Kiera Cass and all her people. And
I would have cried so hard if America died, and that shows you like how much it's changed since the beginning of the series. When I thought that she was kind of annoying, and now I love her so much, and she's it for me.
Yeah, I'm really like emotionally like invested in American Singer because like you went through all this process with her, and like I mean I read the first 3 books twice, and it's like it's like she becomes your friend. And you're like sometimes you just want to punch her for being stupid and being like, America, get your stuff together. This is what you have to do right now. And I don't know, she's my baby, and I defend her so much that if she died, I would have been really, really sad.
Did you do the top 5 Wednesday from this week, where the characters you defend?
No. I should.
Yeah, that was the topic this Wednesday. I couldn't think of 5, so I just didn't do it. But yeah, no, it sounds like she would definitely be on your list.
I mean, basically, it would just be a huge rant about why American Singer should not be as hated as she is.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why people like dislike some of her characteristics, but like you said, it doesn't necessarily mean like she's just flawed, and everyone's flawed, and it's refreshing to see a YA character be flawed. And I think now, YA has definitely like grown and matured, I guess, in the last couple of years. So we see more and more characters who are flawed, but at the time that the selection came out, I'm sure it definitely was refreshing. I wish that I had read it, from the time that the selection was published to now. That would have been like a trip and a half. But so let's switch over to like, well, I feel like now we're on like a character, like now we're just talking about each individual character or instead of each individual book, but I guess we'll just wing it. So, well,
can I talk about something?
Yeah.
Before I start this like tiny rant about the second time I read the selection, I'm just gonna give a shout out to our friend Pucks and Paperbacks, who commented on her chat, and she said, "Agreed. I was scared when it finished the air." Yeah, she was scared.
Way to go for you for checking up on the chat, because I forget sometimes. I'm sorry, guys, but we'll get to you. I promise.
I'll check the chat. Don't worry about it. Just wanted to check if people cared. So, anyways, last year I ran a short read-along book club at the Goodreads and YouTube's called the Selection Series Summer Read-Along Triple S. Yes, and it was all the books leading up to the air because I wanted to prepare people to start reading the air, and I was like, and then we're gonna talk about the next 2 books in the series. Sorry. Okay. Okay, I also want to talk about the whole inclusion of the air and the crown and all the things, because that's another topic I want to talk about. But when I read the selection series for the second time, the first time I was like really it was like I was more invested on like what was happening in the relationships and stuff. But the second time, I read this so critically that it kind of not ruined it. But I was like, Sabrina, why are you thinking this way? Because in the first part, so I was reading the first part of the selection, and I was so conflicted about the way that this dystopian is designed. Because the selection is a dystopian, but it feels like a contemporary for me for some reason. I don't know why. But because, we got a monarchy in the future, and they have caste systems in which people cannot go up, and I'm like, that's not really good for the economy, and I'm like, I cannot see the society working out. It's so weird. And I was like, no, this is not how you run a country, and this is not how you develop as a country and stuff. And it was so weird. And I know it's random, but it was like kind of a problem for me that the whole thing was a monarchy and that it was still in the future. And
No, it's like totally understandable, because that's actually a really big thing. Like when I talked in my weekly wrap up last week about finishing reading The Crown, and I was like, you guys really need to read this series, and I tell people that it's a dystopian, and a lot of people forget that. You know, it just comes off as it's The Bachelor, and you know, it's royal bachelor, like a prince is choosing you know, his princess in a bachelor fashion, and that's really all anyone ever says about it. But people forget that it's a dystopian, which is a hugely loved genre in this series. And, you know, not liking the monarchy system of, you know, this futuristic America, basically, it, you know, is completely understandable, because, you know, it's a dystopian, so it has to have some sort of evil type of government, you know, something that doesn't work out necessarily correctly. And, you know, abolishing that whole caste system was something that really convinced me, you know, at the end of the one, you know, of my love for Max in America so much as rulers.
Yeah, another problem I had is like you barely saw any technology in the whole thing, because like there were barely computers, phones. I was like really conflicted, because it's like this is after the Fourth World War, and people are not using technology, and I'm just, and it's not only because of 5 and probably they don't have that much access to technology, but it's just really conflicting, because some things don't really work out. And I know it's not a series for you to be like fussing about like tiny details, because it's more of like the story and like what happens and like the flow of the story and the process of the story. But I don't know, that's what happened to me when I read it for the second time. I kept looking for details for things to make sense. And I just wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a really great point that you brought up too, because it was a passing thought when I read the Selection series. And I'm not sure if do you know the Shannara Chronicles? Have you either read the book or seen the TV show?
I've heard about it.
Well, the TV show, I haven't read the book, but I've seen the first couple episodes of the TV show. Really good, by the way. But anyway, the way that it appears is as a future of our world, but very fantasy. It's got magic, but these two characters are traveling from one place to another, and they're passing like this like ruins and wreckage of cars and trains and helicopters and buildings, very, you know, modern day buildings, and you can clearly tell that something apocalyptic happened where technology was completely wiped out and they are back to a fantastical setting. And so when that passing thought that I had about, you know, this is after the Fourth World War, it's obviously very far in the future, but where's all the technology? You know, I kind of just assumed that it was something similar to that, because I know that Maxon is a photographer. So, I mean, there's got to be some sort of technology still there.
They have helicopters and cars and planes and cameras and broadcasting systems, but they don't have computers.
And I mean, they might. It just might not be something that is widely used, maybe, or not something that we see. I'm not sure. I mean, they do write letters, I guess. You see a lot of letter writing back and forth. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was like something cool to point out, because usually when I see people talking about the series, they never talk about those aspects. So that's why I wanted to bring it up. Yeah,
it's definitely something interesting to think about. I guess I didn't think about it that much, so it was, you know, nice for you to bring that up. But I guess that's only a question that Kira Cass can answer. You know, maybe she just really wanted that old school communication feel with the letters, and the computers kind of maybe would complicate that. I don't know. That might have just been like creative license that she used on her part, and not really like a world building reason as to why there's no computers.
Yeah, I mean, how do I say this? I think that I like the whole letters thing, because it contributes to the whole romantic aspect and the romanticism. I love letters; they're cute, and I think that's one of the most intimate things you can give to somebody, like a handwritten letter. It's just, I mean, the letters in this book destroyed me, but that's another story. And, oh God, my book fell. Oh my God. Pray for my book. Oh, it's okay.
Book abuse. Book abuse.
No, don't call the book police.
Okay, so what So of the selection girls in America's selection of the girls in the selection, who did you like? Who did you not like?
I mean, I wish I could have seen more of the girls because I feel like they were more like of props than like actual characters. I wish I could have seen more of Celeste because like through the whole series, you think that she's like a B word, and I think it was like a little bit too exaggerated at a point. And it was nice to see like I think it's in the third book that she finally see like her nice side. So I think that I really like Celeste because she had her head in the game and she was in it to win it. And I'm like, girl, you ambitious. I applaud you.
And I think she had a short story as well, I believe. Yeah. Did she? I think so.
Happily Ever After, she had 3 scenes.
Oh, okay. See, the books I can remember pretty easily, but all the short stories, it's hard for me to remember. I wish I had written them down before the live show, but I remember reading something about her after America's selection was over, and she kind of was just like, you know, you deserved it the whole time, like this was all you, and like kind of redeemed herself, especially in my eyes, if I'm remembering this correctly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. She was like, after America came back in the third book from visiting her home, she was like, she was rooting for her, and she told Maxon to treat America right, that she will miss with him or something like that. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, Celeste turned out to be a pretty decent person, and I'm sad that things happened and that, you know, stuff.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, I don't know, I guess it was a little jarring for me, too. Like, I was happy in the end that she was rooting for America, but pretty much the whole first two books and the beginning of the third one, she was really, like you said, in it to win it. She was, you know, framing people and, like, getting into fights and calling people names and just, like, getting people kicked out left and right and center. And then I feel like it was a very fast, unnatural character development. Yeah. Where she kind of like almost all of a sudden changed her tune and now you're rooting for America, but it seemed really sincere. So I don't know if it was like the influence of her family for wanting to, you know, because she's a 2, so her family obviously really wanted her to be princess and, you know, be better for herself or something like that, or I don't know.
Yeah, I totally understand about that because, like, again, this happened the second time we read the original trilogy. Is that like felt so conflicted with like the patterns of development, the character of the development, and how like randomly things happen and people change their minds and stuff. And I'm like, oh, I mean, I just try to ignore it and like go with the story because at the end of the day, I think that's like the purpose of the series. It's just like go with it and enjoy it. But then I'm like,
and then Alyssa, I think from Books and Paperbacks, that's her name, Alyssa.
Oh yeah, Babe. Yeah, Babe.
Okay, she commented again and said that she hated Celeste and loved Marley, and like I felt the exact same way. And the next thing that I wanted to talk about was Marley because she was just so amazing, and like I cried when her and her husband or boyfriend or whatever at the time got punished for, you know, kissing or whatever it was they were doing in the closet.
Ooh, that took a while.
But like it was that whole scene was just so incredibly emotional for me. I mean, I was super upset about it. It just seemed really, really brutal in a book that had so far been pretty kind of mushy-gushy and happy-feeling type thing, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that scene was one of the few scenes that I didn't see coming in the whole series. Because I knew there was something wrong with Marley, and I knew there was something going to be going on with the guard person, but I didn't know that they were together and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely blindsided me. Like, I knew that something was up with Marley. I honestly thought that she was pregnant, I don't remember why I thought that. Like, there was one specific thing for the reason why I thought she was pregnant, which I don't remember now, but I knew something was going on. I just didn't know what it was. And that was just, it was a great plot point on Kira Cass's part as well, because, you know, America and Aspen were doing the same exact thing, just a couple rooms down the hall, basically, and it was very eye-opening.
You know, oh my God, it's funny because like after that scene, America leaned more towards Aspen, and they were like hiding and they were going on secret dates, and I'm like, didn't you see what just happened with your friend?
Yes. Oh my gosh, that is so yes right now. Like, you were so right. I remember thinking, like, what are you doing? Like, are you insane? But can we talk about how absolutely amazing it is to find out at the end of the one that Maxon had saved them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really cool. I was like, okay, America, I don't care that Aspen's booty is cute. We're gonna go for Maxon, okay? You stay with Bae. He's Bae. He's cute. Right. He's like a little cinnamon roll that you wanna cuddle and hug.
Now I want cinnamon rolls. Thanks. Okay.
Oh my God! Can I say just one more critical comment? Can I say just one more critical reading comment?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this also happened like the second time I was reading the selection, and I realized that the selection could be allegory, and it could be read through a sexist point of view. This is all representation of sexism and how the patriarchy is putting women and subjugating women, because it's like this whole selection, it's women competing for men, and I don't know.
No, yeah, that's I mean, it's a great point, and that's something that I you know, thought of as well when I was reading the first 3 books. But I feel like she was just staying on par with what most monarchies do in a world like this.
Yeah.
And he used that as a plot point, obviously negatively, against Clarkson, Maxon's dad.
Yeah. Oh, and then,
and then in the one, or at the beginning of the Heir, rather.
Yeah. Girl, you're froze.
It was going to be boy or girl, they were going to take the crown. Like, they changed laws, and, you know, so.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I could write like a literary essay analyzing the roles played by women in the selection series. It will be published in the university's journal. Yeah.
All about this romance dystopian YA. People love it.
A feminist reading of a contemporary dystopian young adult.
That's funny. I just saw that whoever's watching, someone in the chat, is it going in and out? Because I clicked over to the main page, and it looked like I was out for a second, but I don't know. I just saw it for just a second. So let me know in the chat if that happened, and I'll try to fix it. And then Harriet said, I think she addressed that really well in the Heir when they said usually princesses are married off, but they let her have a selection of her own. Yeah.
Yeah. Go King Maxon. King Maxon for life.
And I was really torn on that too. Like, I really, you know, liked America and Maxon because they, you know, kind of erased those gender roles and those, you know, stuff like that. That was really awesome of them. But I was torn because I feel like America and Maxon are doing all of these things to lessen Evelyn's burden, you know, like, or not lessen her burden, but, you know, like, strip away those gender roles. Just because you're a woman, it doesn't mean you can't rule, and it doesn't mean that we're going to marry you off and your brother's going to rule instead of you because he was married after you. Like, we're going to take away all that stuff, but you still need to do a selection. So I don't know how I felt about that. I wasn't a fan. I see why Kira Cass did it, because, you know, this is the selection series and people were brought into the series, loved the series because of that, you know, because of the book and because of the selection. So I see why she did it, but did I think that in real life, if America and Maxim were real people, would they make Edel into a selection? I don't think so. I don't think it was. Yeah, I don't think it was, you know, good for her character personally. Like, it just seemed like them.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that, I mean, this is kind of an unpopular opinion, but I don't think that the heir and the crown were really necessary, honestly.
They weren't. Absolutely. I mean, obviously, like the one is a very conclusive end. Like, it ends and gives you some pretty good answers. And I loved the series as it was, but I still really enjoyed the heir and the crown. So, I mean, I can't complain. They definitely weren't needed. Like, there's no question about it. And they were.
I mean, I mean, they're pretty enjoyable, and they're like, oh yay. Yeah, cutesy things again, but I don't know. It's just, I felt so satisfied and I felt so completed when this book ended, and then like we get another one and it doesn't feel the same, because even though, you know, you get some romance, you get all the things that you got on the original trilogy, I didn't feel like the same level of commitment and emotional connection as it felt in the trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel sometimes like, I mean, I related to Ethan at sometimes, and I enjoyed it sometimes. And overall, I don't regret reading the two books. But I honestly felt like sometimes it was more of like, oh, let's make her write more books so we, like, get more money from the publishers and actually, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we honestly can't say what type of thing led her to write 2 more books. Was it the money? Was it the publishers pushing her to write more books because the publishers wanted money? I don't know. Like I said, there's no argument that these last 2 books weren't needed, but I did enjoy them, and I did really like reading them, and I spent my money on them. So, I mean, it accomplished their goals, I guess, if that's what they wanted people to do, because I know I bought it. So,
I'm sorry if I give it so many, like, unpopular opinions. I'm just really cynical. I'm incredibly cynical.
No, it's okay. I'm really glad that we both, like, you know, like, we're both don't absolutely love it, and we're just giving it all sorts of compliments. You know what I mean? You know, a good live show includes both sides of popular and unpopular opinions. So it's not a bad thing. It's really, really not.
Yeah. Okay.
There was something that I wanted to mention, though, and now I completely forgot.
That I'm pretty?
What? The what?
That I'm pretty.
Of course.
And
thanks for reminding me.
and then I should get this dress made. And I want this dress.
No, okay. What's your favorite dress? This is completely, like, off topic. What's your favorite dress?
This one.
The one? I like the crown.
Yeah.
I think this one's gorgeous. I don't know. I think this is one that I would wear. I really like the selection dress, though, because it's my favorite color. But this one has to be a close second.
I mean, it's pretty cute.
This one I think is ugly. I like the color, but I don't like that it looks like flaps.
Yeah, it looks like if paper and you cut it, like a 5-year-old cut it.
It's not my favorite. This one is beautiful, though.
I mean, the Elite was special. Oh my god, yeah. Like, did you see the book trailer for the one?
No, I don't think I saw
you can see the model of, like, that plays America, and she's, like, wearing the same dress, and it's, like, such a beautiful dress. It's gorgeous, and it weighed like 100 pounds or something.
Oh my god, I'll have to go look it up and watch it after this. I did see the book trailer for The Crown where they did, well, I don't think it was a book trailer, but they did the selection as Barbies. Did you see that?
Oh my god, yes. Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was...
I'm confused.
Confused about what?
No, there was, like, a part in which the Barbie who played America was like, my heart is confused.
Yes, I remember that. It was really funny. I almost felt like Epic Reads was making fun of their own series. Did it, or not Epic, was that Epic Reads?
Yeah, it was Epic Reads.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you feel like they were making fun of their own series for a little bit?
I mean, the thing is that I wouldn't say making fun, but it's like, you know, it's a series that you can parody easily, and you can, like, it's just, you're just, I mean, yeah, it's making fun, but in like in a good, lighthearted way. That we know that this is like really cheesy, but
I'm all for parroting a series, like totally all day, every day. But I guess from a marketing standpoint, especially for someone who may have never read the Selection series, they really could have used these book trailers to convince people to read the Selection. But if I were someone who had never read the series and I had saw that trailer with the Barbies, I would have been like, that looks really bad. Like, I would never want to read that book. The way, I mean, I've read the series, and the way that it was coming off, I was like, I wouldn't want to read that crap. Like, I was just not for it at all. Yeah. But I've already read the whole series, so I just had to.
Yeah. I mean, I feel the same thing. If I haven't, like, read the books first, I would have been like, But I think it was more meant towards people that had already read the books and needed to, like, catch up before the new book came out.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm yawning. All right, so because we've talked mostly about the first 3 books in the series. Okay. And our purpose, like when we started this, is that we really wanted to talk about the Crown. So let's see, what is there anything else left to say about the Selection series? Like the first 3 books. Does anyone in the chat or who's watching have questions? Let us know.
I just have to say that Team Maxim is Bay. Maxim is Bay. Team Maxim for life. I want Maxim to exist in real life because, you know, I already have my own Maxim, and he's a pretty good Maxim, even though his name is not Maxim, and he's not a prince, but he's French and cute. But yeah, I don't know if he's watching because they told him to watch it. But what else? But yeah, I think that's all I have to say. And that America Singer is a decent character. Don't hate on her.
Yeah, she's not bad. I mean, in the beginning, she was a little odd, but she's not as bad as some people make her out to be.
Yeah.
All right, so now we can go up the most recent books, The Heir and The Heir and The Crown. So have you talked about The Heir during a live show? Because I know you said you had talked about the first 4 books.
Yeah, I did actually.
Oh, okay, all right. The Crown has not been talked about.
No, because The Crown came out like a month ago.
Yeah, I was just, okay, so were you like 100% going to read it before it came out, The Crown?
Yeah, I was like, you know, I like completion. I like the feeling of completion. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to read them. I'm going to read them, and I need to see if Evelyn, like, makes up her mind that America doesn't die, so.
Yes, I was so worried, like, not to, like, go back to something that we've already talked about, but I was so worried about America. Like, I was just convinced that she was just going to die. Like, I was really convinced that the first page we were going to open it up and it was going to be America's funeral, and I was just going to be destroyed.
Oh God, even the thought of it breaks my heart.
It does. I was just like, I can't. And some people were saying, oh, well, I want books, like a short story or something after Evelyn's Selection. No, because America's going to be old, and she's going to die eventually, and I don't want to read that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like the way that you see Maxton reacting to the whole situation and how, like, much of a toll it takes on him. It's, like, so heartbreaking. I'm like, my babies, no. Kira Cass, you cannot do this. You cannot do this.
Like, he's been running a country for almost 2 decades, right? And it takes a toll on him, but nowhere near as much as it takes a toll on him for America to be sick and dying and having a heart attack and stuff. And it's just, you know, insane. Like, the love that was shown that they showed to each other during that really difficult time was just so freaking adorable.
I know.
They're just
perfect. Yeah, I know that we finish talking about the original trilogy, but like their relationship is so fluffy and cute that like every time that something happened between them, I was like, ah, like Velociraptor hands, and like I have like tons of Max in America quotes like memorized here. I think I have like the letters that he wrote to her in the one here memorized because they're like the cutest things ever. Like if somebody said this to me, I will be like, take me now. Where's our wedding?
That's adorable. And I mean, like, we don't have to stop talking about the first 3 books. I guess, like, I want to just switch the majority of our discussion from the beginning of their relationship to now. But, you know, if we need to bring up the first 3 books, like, that's totally fine. But you have good attention because I have not memorized anything from the series. Like, I love this series. But
me too. For other fun facts, I read this 3rd book during my SAT practice classes.
Well, you try to procrastinate studying all the time.
Yeah, I mean, at least I procrastinate by reading.
That's true.
Yeah, I should have a poster that says that.
I procrastinate by reading. That's actually really good. I'm gonna make it and sell billions. No, but
copyright.
What was I gonna say? I was gonna say I don't even know what that it was.
I memorized the thing.
I can't reread. I can't do it. I don't care how much I love a book or a series. I can't reread. There are too many books in this world that need to be read for me to give time to read a book again. I have read one series my entire life twice, and the only reason is because it's like my favorite series ever, and no one's ever heard about it, but it was also before I was a reader. Like, I read all the time. Like, I kind of just read as a occasional hobby back then in high school, but and I read that series twice over the course of high school, but it's called the Pendragon series by DJ McHale.
I think I've heard of it.
I talk about it a lot on my channel, and I really wish that more people would read it because it is amazing. But that's the only series that I've ever read twice, and I cannot read a book again. So I really wish, and then I also, like you said, when you read it the second time, you were a lot more critical. I don't want that. I want to have the first time I read a book thoughts and feelings, and just it stay that way forever. This is my thoughts and feelings the first time I read it, and that's just what I'm going to think about a book for the rest of my life. I can't.
Yeah, I totally understand. This is one of the few series I actually repeat because I don't like repeating stuff. Like, I barely repeat movies. I only repeat movies if I really, really, really like them or within, like, a span of 6 months at least. And with books, they're like, at least some years should have passed. Like, most books that I've reread are books that I read, like, in middle school or 9th grade or Harry Potter. And, I mean, Harry Potter's a whole different category. But I mean, yeah, you're right. Sometimes when you reread it, like, you actually pay attention to things you missed. And sometimes that can be good and sometimes that can be bad. But I think that, like, how easy it is to read this, that's why I'm able to reread it sometimes.
Yeah, I think that if I were ever... I've never been in a bad slump. I've been kind of slumpy for a couple of days, but I read so many books every year. Like, I read 150 books last year, and I'm on track to read 175. Yeah, 175 this year. So I read so many books that if I were ever in a bad slump, I really feel like this series would be the one that I pick up if I did need something really light and fluffy, feel good. If I ever really, really needed a reread. But, like, it would have to be dire circumstances.
Yeah.
For me, at least, to reread a series. But this is on the top of my list if I ever really do need to reread a series because I enjoyed it that much. And I know Chloe over at the Print Bibliophile, who's like my best friend, and we do the Once Upon a Read-Along Once Upon a Read-Along together. And she knows how much I hate rereading. So she's probably like, oh my God, right now. She admitted that she would reread a book. No, exactly. Like, I just hardly ever reread. Harriet just commented and said, I have never flown through a book faster than the books in the series. Yes. I read the first 3 books in the series, like I said, over the course of about a week, and I was listening to them on an audiobook, and I remember because I got them like from my library through Overdrive, and I remember just having my earbuds in constantly, and I would listen to it on the way to work and on the way home from work and when I was cleaning the house, and just every second that I had, I would do it. I read it over the course of like a week, probably less, like more like 4 or 5 days, and then I read The Heir in 1 day, and I read The Crown in 3 hours.
Damn. I mean, girl, me too. I read The Selection in a day, I read The Elite in a day, I read The One in like 2 days, because I didn't want it to end, and I had to cry. I had to take crying breaks because it was so beautiful. And The Heir, that's the one that took me like 3 days to read, and then The Crown. I don't know why it took me like 5 days to read like the first quarter, and then I read the rest of it like in 3 hours. But that's because of college.
Oh, well, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I remember like after I had started The Crown and I realized that America was probably going to be okay, I thought about putting the book down so I could go to sleep, but I just knew that I couldn't. I needed to finish it. Like I said at the beginning, this is the most readable series I have ever experienced. Like, Kiera Cash just has a way of writing, and it's insane. And I don't know if you read The Siren, her other book.
I have it, but I haven't read it.
I read it, and it's not as readable, but it's still very readable. I read it within, I think 2 days I read it. It was really, really good, and I really liked it. It was about, it was about sirens. Everyone wants to say mermaids. I usually want to say mermaids too, but it's about sirens, and it was very good. Very, very good.
I want to read it.
Amazing, but it was still, her writing style definitely shined through, in this book as well as in the series, and very readable. She's just got an amazing way of writing that just makes you not want to put a book down.
Same. Yeah, I think that you can easily recognize her writing and be like, yeah, that's Kiera Cass. Those are her books. She's like, really, you can recognize something and you can be like, yes, this is my thing. And talking about like this being really readable, like I totally agree with you. And if I were like a book doctor, I would prescribe you with like the remedy of a slump. Oh my God, it will be such a cool idea. The book doctor.
That's a great idea.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down. But anyways,
do it and tag me, and I will do it.
Yeah.
What would
book
you prescribe
MD.
for this?
What?
The book doctor tag. What would you prescribe for X, Y, and Z? That's amazing.
Okay, I'm doing that, and I can have like my own little reality show that can be like, Ask Book Doctor MD. Hi, Book Doctor. My name is this, and I'm having problems with this series. What should I do? And I'm like, you should break up with that series. I am sorry. I don't know, it will be like Dr. Phil, but like, oh my God, great idea. Comment down below if you think it's a good idea. Yes. So,
Chloe said, I've never read the Selection series, so I'm going to say hi and leave. Hi. I wonder if she was here when I was talking about her in my rereading, because that's funny. But
she was a month.
I think she had said that she bought the Selection, so I was like, you need to read it. Yeah. Read it.
Yeah, I made Alyssa from Pucks and Paperbacks to read the Selection, and I'm like, yes, I have done something good with my life.
Oh, she has read it. I was like, she hasn't read it?
Yeah, she read it, like, last year.
Okay, good. Did she read The Heir and The Crown?
I don't think so, actually. I have to check with her, because I know that she has read The Crown, but I'm not sure about The Heir. Alyssa, if you're still here, comment down below about the thing. So, yeah. And also, your friend said, I was not here. I did get the Selection. I really want to read it, exclamation point.
Yeah, she needs to read it, and she should probably leave before we start talking about The Heir and The Crown and spoil her.
Yeah, so Chloe should leave because there might be spoilers. However, when you read the Selection, you should DM me and my friend Elizabeth so we can be like, shout, frustrating, feels. I don't know if I can have a voice. But yeah,
So The Crown.
The Crown.
So English has narrowed it down to like what, 6 guys, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so who was your favorite?
I mean, I mean, the other thing I was really conflicted about, like, with those two books, is, like, I couldn't really see a relationship, and I couldn't see anything building up within, like, any potential love interest. I think there was too much in order to be invested. Like, originally, I was convinced it was going to be Kyle, because it's like...
And Kyle's the one that she grew up with, right?
Yeah, it's Marley's son.
Yes, okay, yeah, that's why it was either between him or the foreign-speaking dude, who I don't remember his name.
Henry,
yes. So it was either between Kyle or Henry for me, and I was just convinced that it was going to be one of the two. But I had a little bit of an inkling that what happened was going to happen. So was it out of left field for you, or?
Not really. Like, I could see, I mean, like, at the beginning of the air, when, like, he was, like, this random dude, and they had, like, this kind of, like, a tiny connection, I was like, yes. This could be one of the people I could predict moving on, but then, like, more things with Kyle happen, and I'm like, no, maybe it's probably Kyle. But then I'm like, why would they focus so much on this random dude who translates for somebody if he's not going to be significant, you know?
Yeah, I had no idea. I really didn't, until about halfway through The Crown, when I realized, like, she has serious feelings for him, and I was worried that it was going to end badly, that she was going to settle for somebody else because that was her job, and, you know, like, she thought that's what she needed to do. She needed to settle, that she had to pick somebody from the selection, and, like, that's what she was going to do because it was her duty as queen. And I felt like it was going to end on a sad note, but I should have known better because it's Kira Cass.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that I actually, as the book was going to end, and she was like, yeah, Kyle, go away. I'm going to choose Henry. She proposes to Henry. I'm like, oh my God, is this actually going to happen? This is so sad. But then I'm like, no, this is Kira Cass, and, like, everybody's happy at the end, and everything is convenient. So I saw that happening, and I'm like, yes, this is how it goes. Good job.
Yeah,
I just love how, like, out of the sudden it's everything, and it's like, oh, we're about to go to television in 7 minutes. It's like,
that's perfect Kira Cass. Like, she definitely would do something like that, and at the end of the book, it was perfect, and it was exactly the way that it should have been. And props to Maxon, again, because he came to the rescue. Because he was the one that was like, just do, if you love him, then you love him, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was him that was like, if you want to be with him, sweetie, just do it. Follow your heart.
Yeah, but I don't know. Another thing I'm, like, really conflicted about this series is how convenient everything is. It's just like, everybody's happy. Everybody has perfect endings. There's nothing wrong with anybody. Let's be happy. And I mean, it's nice because it's a feel-good thing. But sometimes it's just, like, really conflicting and stuff.
Yeah, no, you're completely right. Like, it is extremely convenient. I mean, she did put in, you know, small details that weren't so convenient, like King Clarkson. I mean, King Clarkson dying kind of was convenient, but not for King Clarkson, I guess.
But I mean, he was a villain.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the rebels attacking the palace, that was a negative thing, and then, you know, America having a heart attack, but I feel like, you know, so that, I feel like a lot of people say that, you know, I mean, things are convenient, there's no argument with that, but a lot of people say that it's just too much good stuff going on, but I just feel like the stuff is so good that it overshadows the few bad things that do happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally makes sense. And at the end of the day, this is a feel-good series. You're not going to get, like, the most perfect, realistic things. I mean, this is Dystopian Bachelor. How realistic can this get?
Exactly. And I feel like people who don't like this series really go into it expecting to be surprised and expect it to be challenged and expect it to be this super high fantasy or super complicated dystopia. Like, that's not what it is. Like, I tell people all the time, go into it expecting to be a little bit annoyed with the plot and a little bit annoyed with the characters, and just accept it and love it for what it is. You know, like, you want to be critical of books, but I feel like this series, you just can't be that critical.
Oh, you just let go of the criticalness and you enjoy the ride.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's just
okay. Do you think that America, since we were talking earlier about like would these characters really act this way, the way that it was written? Do you think that America would have fallen in love with the translator? I mean, not America, Evelyn. Do you think Evelyn would have fallen in love with the translator?
How? I mean, I was kind of expecting it. Not fall in love out of nowhere, but I was kind of expecting like some kind of connection going on with them, at least friendship, and like the whole how inconvenient it is of it all. It really reminded me of the whole Maxon and America dynamic, and how like, oh, we're not meant to be together, and all these people don't want to be together, and it was kind of like. Nice. But I don't know, I kind of felt like the whole Eric thing was kind of rushed, in my opinion, because, like, you only see them getting actually together through, like, the last third of this book.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, oh, they're gonna get married now, and I'm like, they've been together for, like, a month? Or
yeah.
less? And I'm like, I mean, again, it's dystopian bachelor.
Well, they're not getting married. They just got engaged, I think. Yeah. I mean, like, that's who she's picking for the selection, I guess. So, I mean, technically they need to get married. But I think that, America and Maxon really changed the dynamic for Ilya. And I don't think people, anybody, a male or a female, going through a selection would be expected to marry immediately afterwards like America and Maxon did,
Yeah.
Things are different now.
Yeah. So if you were in your own selection, who you would pick? Would you pick? If you were Evelyn and you were like, who? All these young men want my booty.
It might be really shallow of me, but I could have never picked Henry. I just don't think that I could deal with the language barrier, and that's so bad, especially when she admitted that he was trying that the translator, what was his name? Eric, especially when Eric admitted that Henry was trying to learn English and it wasn't going well. I was just like, okay, that's it. You gotta go home. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I can't. I mean, maybe if I were a princess and dealing with people every day who speak different languages, maybe I'd be more inclined to. But so I wouldn't pick him. It would probably be the guy that she lived with. Kyle, yes, Marley's son. For me, it probably would have been Kyle. Like, I'm a sucker for like familiarity, and I would have known him my whole life, I guess. I mean, if we're talking about strictly like what I would do for my personality, not like the men as characters, I guess, that's probably what I would do, because I like familiarity and I just want things to be the same.
At least you're not marrying a stranger.
Yeah, exactly. Marrying a stranger is just not me. I couldn't be with somebody that I've only known for a couple of months.
But I have to admit something, Elizabeth. I've been feeling some feelings lately, and I know that we are perfect for each other ever since we saw each other. Would you marry me?
Well, I'm already married.
But I mean, it could be a ceremonial marriage, just virtual marriage, booked marriage. There you go. That's a different kind of marriage. I'm kidding. Don't worry.
I know. I'm so easily amused. Like my face. I mean, my face went bright red. Even like how I'm embarrassed. Like,
I just like to create awkward situations. That's my special power.
I'm so honored. But I don't know what to say. I don't know how my husband would feel about that.
It's okay. I already have a booktube wife, and her name is Alyssa. I
watch her videos all the time.
Yeah, she's babe. I love her. And
I haven't had the chance to talk to her personally yet, but hopefully, I mean one-on-one or anything like that. But she sounds really nice. So okay, we've been here for an hour. And I don't usually like to have my live shows more than an hour or so. And I'm trying to think if there's much more to say. Oh, well, I'll put you on the spot and ask you the same question that you asked me.
Okay. Before I answer, I just want to ask for the last time if somebody has more questions, ask them right now. But if I were to pick somebody, from the people in that selection, it will probably be Kyle as well. Because, it's still familiarity. He's kind of cute. He likes architecture. I like architecture. But I would probably just sneak my original bae into the selection and be like, from the section of France that's not part of Ilya, here is bae. And, I don't know. That's against the rules, but I don't care.
That's funny.
I am queen.
I guess we can talk about Edelin's brother eloping. How did you feel about that?
That was so freaking stupid. Oh.
Yes. It definitely was. I just feel like it was selfish. Like, especially when he didn't come home when he found out that his mom was sick. Like, for me, I am such a huge family person, and my mom is everything to me. And if I found out that my mom had a heart attack, I would be on the next flight home. And he hadn't even sent them a letter or gotten in contact with them or anything.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, the purpose for eloping, there was nobody saying, you cannot marry her. I mean, they're both royalties, so there's no, restrictions for them to get married. There was no purpose for them eloping, and it was so ridiculous and stupid for them to elope. Because I guess, if he had proposed with, everybody knowing, I don't think that anybody would have opposed to marriage.
Oh, my God. I can't believe we didn't talk about the thing that I wanted to talk about the most.
What?
Because that was another thing that I said that you reminded me of, is that how badass America was when she stuck it to those guys on the board when they wanted her to go to war.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was like, girl, Evelyn Shreve is there. She's goals. Just
kill it. I was like, yes.
It was like Savage, Slay, Queen.
Oh my God, now that we're about to end, so many things are coming back to me. Okay, I don't know if you saw my tweet, but I totally called the one guy designer person gay.
Yeah.
Totally called it.
But wait, oh yeah. I mean,
I don't remember his name, but he was one of the guys in the selection, and him and one of the other guys were gay.
Yeah, it was Ian and somebody else.
Yeah. And I totally called it. And that's probably really bad of me because he was a clothes designer. I know that's really stereotypical and that's probably really bad of me, but I mean, I don't know.
I didn't expect him to be gay, but I knew that there was something about him that we didn't know yet.
I didn't expect them to be gay together. I knew that one was gay. And then I knew when the other one kissed Evelyn, it was like, there's nothing, right? There's nothing there. And America's like, no, not really. And then I think he admitted that he was gay or that he liked a boy. And so I knew that each of them were gay, but I didn't know that they were gay together, I believe. Is that how it happened? If I remember correctly?
So. Yeah.
Okay. Because, but I called it. And I posted on Twitter, a big gay flag, and I was like, yes, get it, boys. Be yourself, please.
But I mean, I like that they included that because, diversity.
Mm-hmm. And I love that, everyone has a happy ending, and it's not just the main characters. Marley and her beau found love on the selection, and these two boys found love on the selection. And even though it was stupid, Edelin's brother found love, and America and Maxon, of course, are just amazing. And but it's a happy ending pretty much all around.
Yeah, I mean, and and Kyle got his freedom and able to do architecture, so everybody's good, everybody's fine except Celeste. Poor Celeste, she deserved better.
Well, I think didn't they mention that she had gotten married in a story or something?
Elizabeth, Celeste is the one who got shot in the head.
Oh. Wait, what? When did that happen? What?
Before Maxon announced who she was going to marry, she and
You now. Okay, see.
Okay.
I did not remember that happening at all. The only person I remember dying was Clarkson. She seriously got the head? I don't remember that. I was probably like, alright. I didn't like her much anyway.
I think it was when the rebels attack, when the whole thing happened.
I assumed that's when it was because of the whole rebel attack at the end of the book, but I don't remember her getting shot at all.
Okay. Page 292. I walked in confusion as a red-marked guard walked up behind Celeste and put a bullet squarely through the back of her head. I think that it's pretty clear that she's dead.
Oh my god! How did I forget that? Poor Celeste! Oh my god.
Oh, I love you.
I told you I have the worst memory. The worst.
It's okay.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe I forgot that. That's insane.
It's okay. It was only 2 sentences, don't worry.
I'm sure there's other people who died that I don't remember.
No major people, honestly.
No, other than Celeste?
Celeste, Clayton Clarkson, Queen Amberly, and America's father.
Okay. Because that's another one that I could remember, is I knew that Clarkson died, but I couldn't remember about his mom.
Yeah, she died protecting him, which was, I don't get it, because he was a douche and Queen Amberly was nice.
Yes, she definitely was. And I remember her selection. Like, I mean, I don't know if you remember when we had the short story for Queen Amberly, and it was announced that Clarkson was beat by his father.
Oh, yeah.
Like that, I mean, I hate backstories on bad guys because I always start to feel for them. Like, I have a couple feelings for Levana. I don't know if you've read the Winter Chronicles series.
Oh, yeah.
Or Red Forest. Okay. Because, like, I started having feelings for Levana, and I was just, like, so torn up about it. Like, I can't. But it was the same thing with King Clarkson. I was like, oh, my God, he was abused. Like, that really sucked.
But being abused is no excuse for being an abuser.
No, oh my gosh, you are completely and totally correct.
Yeah. Like, at least it gives you an insight and a background on why, but it doesn't justify their behavior at all or make it less bad than it already is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really enjoyed the side stories that we got, but I kind of would have liked those heavy details, like, like King Clarkson's background to kind of be in the main books. Because I really enjoy a book that deals with a difficult subject like abuse, It would have added more depth to the main novels.
I mean, you can always turn to the trusty old website, fanfiction.net, or Wattpad.
See, I don't read fanfiction. They have fanfiction on the selection?
Yeah, a lot of fanfiction, actually, because, a lot of the big market from these books are preteens, and, preteens are huge on fanfiction.
Okay, so send me some good selection fanfic.
I have to look for some.
Yeah, that you think I would like, because I've honestly wanted to get into fanfic, but I don't even know where to start. And
Harry Potter. Always start with Harry Potter.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I'm so for canon. Like, I am the worst. Like, no, that's not canon. It has to be canon. It's not what the author wrote. It needs to be canon. So I think that's why I might not be a fan of fanfic.
Yeah, I mean, even J.K. Rowling regrets her own canon, so you never know.
I guess. What does she regret again? What?
She regretted Hermione and Ron. What the heck?
Oh, that's right. I remember that. I remember her saying that. I guess. No, Hermione and Ron are like OTP. I like them.
But yeah, I can send you some pretty good Luna and Neville fanfiction if you're into that.
Okay, yeah, see, like, I love them together. I don't know why Neville and Luna didn't get together. That's just ridiculous.
I mean, they got together in the movies, but they never got together in the books.
Did they get together in the movies? Because I know, you can read, like, the future, like, I know they have that information somewhere on Pottermore or something where it says who married who, but was it really obvious in the books that they were, or in the movie that they were together? It didn't seem that obvious to me.
In Deathly Hallows Part 2, after Neville almost dies in a part, he was like,
I gotta go to
where's
Luna.
Luna?
Yeah, okay, I remember that.
Yeah, but in the books in Pottermore, it says that Neville married a girl from Hufflepuff.
But just because he wants to go confess his love doesn't mean that 3 or 4 years later they broke up for whatever.
I don't care.
So, I'm sorry. I mean, it's the truth.
I know. Let's go.
But, you know, so, I mean, I like that. I remember now that you refreshed my memory that he had said that he needed to go find Luna, and that was adorable. Because I really wanted them to be together, and I don't know why they didn't get married. Like, that's ridiculous. That's more, like, ridiculous than Harry and Hermione and Ron. All right, so does anyone, before we go, anyone who's watching, all 2 of you, which you are absolutely wonderful and amazing, do you have questions or comments on the series or anything else that we forgot to talk about, or tell us all of the things? If not, and you don't have anything to say, can you comment and just say no, so I'm not here for 5 minutes waiting for you to comment? Nothing?
I think when I do that, people as my boyfriend. Boyfriend, say something.
Oh, well, now it's just one person. Oh, wait, no, we're back to 2 people.
Boyfriend came back.
Keep going back to fourth, 1 person, 2 person. So, anyway, if you just joined us, we're about to end. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, things you would like us to talk about, please let us know now before we end this fabulous live show. I had fun, and this was great, and I'm glad I finally got to talk to somebody about The Crown, and this was an amazing idea. Yay! And and Sabrina and I threw around the idea that later, if we have finished a series, if we have both finished a completed series, and it came out recently, because I like doing recent releases. I don't like finishing series or like talking a lot about series that came out years ago or something like that. So anyway, if we have both finished a series that completed recently, that we were going to do a live show like this together. And I feel like if this becomes a regular thing, like if we end up doing this 3 or 4 times a year or something, maybe we'll name it. But it's not going to be serious. Like if we'd happen to finish a series at the same time and it's newish, then, you know, because I enjoyed this.
Yeah, it's casual, you know.
Yes, very, very casual, and we're not going to like set plans or anything like that. But if you finish a series, Sabrina, ask me, hey, did you finish this, or are you planning on finishing this? Have you read most of the series and you're going to read the last book? Yeah. And then I'll do the same thing to you. And if it matches up, then we can do then we can do one of these again, because I had a lot of someone
I know he's not a secret. Wait, is that boyfriend? Okay. No, anyways, that's boyfriend. He said something.
I know. I was saying, what was something? What does that mean?
No, are you gonna say something? So he's like something.
Hi, Sabrina's boyfriend.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will go ahead. Hold on. What is it? But for real, it was fun to watch. Always great to see people share their passions with others. Keep it up. Oh, he's so sweet.
Oh, boyfriend.
You got a winner, Sabrina. You should keep him. Oh, you're so cute too. Aw, you guys are adorable. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and end this thing that we call a live show. Thank you so much, Sabrina, for coming on my channel and talking about this with me. And I love this so much, and I had a lot of fun. So, all right, guys, we will see you maybe next time if we finish a series together.
Bye.
Bye.